You are listening to the Tricorder Transmissions.
Shore Leave, episode 45, 2018 STLV Pump You Up episode.
Just what the doctor ordered. Right, doctor? I couldn't have prescribed better.
Welcome back to Shore Leave. This is our 45th episode, and tonight we're taking a brief break from our vendor room coverage that we've been doing lately. We're going to do one more episode for you guys pretty soon, and tonight we're going to be doing our Pump You Up for STLV. I am Jeff Hewlett, and here alongside me is my always incredible co-host, the amazing Heather Barker. How are you, Heather?
15 days.
Yeah, so close now. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Everybody's finalizing their luggage packing plans.
Yeah, while we wait for the schedule to drop.
Oh, that'll be like 2 days before the con.
Yeah.
Always.
But I am a mix of super excited and super anxious, but mostly super excited. So.
Yeah. Well, we got two guests with us tonight who are also in the same boat as the rest of us are. So let's really quickly take care of some of our housekeeping stuff before we get started. We've got a lot to talk about tonight. So just in case anybody out there does not know, we have a Patreon page, and we've got a couple of new patrons we want to give shout outs to tonight. If you haven't seen it yet, it is at patreon.com/thetricordertransmissions, or if you go to our website, thetricordertransmissions.com, you can click on the orange Patreon link on the right-hand side. So if you enjoy what we do here on Shore Leave or any of our other Tricorder Transmission shows, please consider joining our Patreon family. There are a lot of great benefits. So becoming a patron will give you instant access to a lot of our unedited episodes that become available way before they're released to the general public, usually with a lot of before and after content. And you also get some early release episodes that come out before the public releases happen. We also have an exclusive button that we've created for our Patreon patrons. We've sent out a bunch of those, and the minute you join up, you'll get a message asking you for your address for us to ship you one of those as well. We'd love to send them to you. And finally, we also have our really fun Patreon monthly chats. The next one is taking place actually tomorrow. So you guys probably won't hear this before the pet chat actually happens. But we're going to be doing the monthly, and if you are a Patreon patron, you'll be receiving a message every month inviting you to join us on a Star Trek chat. That's going to be just a free form chat, and you'll have a couple of our Tricorder Transmissions hosts along with some of your other fellow patrons along for the ride. So I think we have a couple of new patrons we want to give shout outs to, right, Heather?
Yes. Am I saying who they are, or are you?
Well, we've got three of them. Brand new ones since our last episode we released. And the first one was JP Carden. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Thank you for becoming a Patreon patron. That's awesome. And hold on, I got to get the names right for these other two. We've got two people that neither Heather or I were super familiar with, but Nina Harmer was another one of our pledges. Thank you so much, Nina, for your generous contribution. And also Jedi Sage. I'm not sure, that might be a Twitter handle or something, but I'm sure you're listening to our shows. So thank you so much, Jedi Sage, Nina Harmer, and JP Carden for becoming our newest three patrons, all within the last few days.
Yeah, it's always really fun when we get a new patron, and I do a little happy dance. So, yeah, we appreciate everyone. We like watching our Patreon family grow, and we are excited for those who will be joining us in Las Vegas in 15 days.
But yeah, thanks so much, guys. Really, seriously, it is so humbling that you're all out there supporting our shows and wanting to contribute to our network. It is really, truly wonderful. We really appreciate every single one of you. And I've sent out messages recently to all of our new patrons. If you're interested in getting one of those patron buttons, look in your email box. You can respond, and I will send one out to you immediately. So, Heather, we've got two guests with us tonight for our Pump You Up for STLV 2018 episode, and they should be familiar to all of our Shore Leave listeners because they've been on our shows multiple times. You want to run some intros?
So our first guest, everyone knows him. He's one of our co-admins in the unofficial Star Trek Las Vegas convention group on Facebook. Big breath. Our dear friend Jesse Akendo. Welcome, Jesse.
Hello. It is great to be back with this team. I'm looking forward to talking some STLV and pumping us up.
Yeah, we're going to get pumped. Okay, so our second guest, you know her from our STLV 101 and many other convention episodes. She's our convention correspondent, but she is also our new fourth administrator for the group. So we are super excited to have Marina Krawczyk here.
Yay! Hello, everybody. Thank you so very much for having me. I really, really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for being here and for stepping up to help us out in the group.
It's my pleasure and my honor.
Everyone was so happy to have you join us. You're basically doing the job anyway. So we
I think
make it official.
That kind of makes sense. Yes,
the most natural fit.
Yeah, I mean, considering how much I generally talk about conventions, given that I go to conventions all the time, it was like, that's a natural step. So yes, great.
Well, you often beat me to replying to people's questions. Sometimes I'm like, oh gosh, this question has been asked already. I need to go find it. Like I need to use the search feature, go find it in the group, tag the person. And I'm like, I'm just going to approve it and let Marina answer it.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, no, well, it's as our group continues to grow, it just gets more and more demanding, especially around convention time. So it's helpful to have other people there, and still our community also does a great job of letting us know when something's, somebody says something that's not so nice and stuff like that.
It is a job with now, as I'm looking, 4,549 members. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Yes.
That is our we do it out of love. So we're super happy to have the whole team here. We're gonna go crazy and get everyone pumped up about STLV. First thing I wanted to say to all of our listeners is a giant thank you for standing by us. I think at least Jeff, Jesse, and I have all had a lot of life stuff happen.
We have
this year and this summer especially. So with Shore Leave, we haven't been able to get as many episodes out as we have in the past, especially that are STLV centric or like certain subjects. Like last year, this time we did the social anxiety episode, and we've done cosplay focused episodes and everything else.
The 101s,
Yeah, and I think all of those are still relevant.
They are, absolutely.
Even though like cosplay is labeled as cosplay 2016, most of the tips and information in that podcast can still apply to this year. But we promise we will do a little better next year. I hope that none of us have life drama.
Oh God, I hope not. We can't take any more.
Yeah, like we've had our fill. But I just wanted to thank everybody for sticking through all of this with us and hanging in there. So we've got a lot to cover, and we don't have 2 hours. So I guess we're going to jump right into it. I don't even know where to start. Man, there's like so much to talk about. So I guess like general con status update type of thing. And I'm curious. So I've got a general admission weekend ticket. I think, Jeff, you're also doing general admission.
Yeah, I always do general admission now. I did Copper my first year, and for the 4 years after that, I've done G. Oh, actually, wait a minute. I'm correcting myself. For 3 of those years, including this one, I've done general admission weekend, and 1 year I did the Groupons.
Got it. And then, Jesse, what are you going as this year?
I'm captain. So I started off as gold. And then I did that for 2 years, and then I just met a group of people that I've talked about them before on this podcast. It calls ourselves the Vegas Brain Trust, and we have commandeered the front row of the captain section, all sitting together. So we will not be leaving that place anytime soon. So that I'm sticking with it.
That's really interesting. I'm glad that when I did captain's chair years ago, I went in with a group, and this was before the 50th. And we were able to purchase like tickets in bulk and pretty much all sit with each other in the 2 rows or whatever we took up. But then when the 50th came along, Creation was like, nope, you need to pay a ridiculous amount of money. And we said, no thanks. So, and Marina, you're pretty much always gold, aren't you?
No, not always.
Not always.
Mostly, I started out as captain's chair way back in 2010, and then I moved up to gold because I was very curious, the all-inclusive experience, yada yada. And then I actually went to preferred. I was on the leftmost side. I was literally sitting across the aisle from the gold, so it was basically exactly the same spot, but I was paying, like half a grand less.
Yeah.
And then as we started to get closer to the 50th, it was a strategic move. One of the years I specifically upgraded. So I went straight from preferred back to gold, and I kind of stayed there because my sister and I managed to move up to 3rd row. And at that point, it's kind of a really, really nice spot, and I enjoy taking pictures. I still go to a lot of panels in the main theater. So I'm kind of sticking with it. This is, I think, right now, 3rd year in a row that I'm in the same spot. So I'm still gold this year.
Nice.
So it sounds like it's really the seat that gets you there.
Exactly, yes.
And I was talking to, I think, someone else who has 2 seats in the front row and has been like, his friend wasn't coming, so he's got an extra seat and he doesn't know if he wants to sell it or not because it's just such a good spot. And it really seems like most of the higher tiered ticket holders who I talk to are focused on having a good seat. And I definitely understand that, having had captains before.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I don't even need to take pictures. I'm sitting close enough when I absolutely don't have to look at any of the screens. Everything is pretty much right there.
Right in front of you, yeah.
So I can take pictures even with my iPhone, but I do prefer to bring my own camera and take some nice stuff.
And I'll tell you, I'm in row Q, which is the row right before where the little scooters park, and so it's an excellent view. It's right in the middle, and I mean, I can't ask for a better row. Like there's leg room. It's like the exit place on the plane. It's awesome.
Yeah,
so I'm not moving.
that's super. That leg room is super awesome. I definitely get that perk. So we're 15 days away, and with the exception of gold tickets, and I think there may be some gold tickets up on the Creations auction site, but everything else is still available. As of today, Groupon, Gold Star, whatever, has not come out. Some other website, I think it was a news site, I don't know.
I think it was a radio station that was doing like a seasonal promotional thing, and it was actually tickets for all 5 days. So if you were lucky enough, you could actually get, all 5 days at really nice discount. And of course, they had very limited amounts, so most of them are gone.
They were gone in 4 hours.
I think they're all gone now. But
they're all gone. Yeah.
So based on that, I do think that Gold Star, Groupon, whatever tickets are going to be released. We're technically 2 days away from when they were released last year, so I'm assuming we'll see them this week, and everyone will be happy. But general admission weekend is still all there.
And they're still at the discounted early bird rate, strangely enough.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Creation, for not jacking up the price.
That caused a lot of controversy last year.
It did. So that's all available. Of course, the gala tickets are available. I think there are still individual tickets for the captain's chair party.
Yes.
And at this point, I don't even know if we talked about this already, but we probably did. They have moved the captain and gold parties from the Voodoo Lounge down to
the secondary
theater to I mean, I assume to accommodate all the people and give everyone a seat. Someone in the group made a comment that it was for Joe Piscopo and his band. And I was like, no, I
No.
would really like to think it's because Creation realized half the time you can't find a seat at those parties.
Yeah, really.
From what I gathered, there was quite a lot of complaint. I mean, I'm not gonna hide it. I actually wrote a complaint regarding, even though I do usually get seats because my sister and I come extremely early. So we basically eat and we leave as the bulk of people actually just start to come in to the at least gold dinner. But it's, I mean, more than once it looked very, very bad. I mean, you literally walking through that tiny little space when you're trying to go down the stairs or anything, and you have people turning chairs upside down, putting them on other chairs so they have some sort of flat surface so they could put dinner plates. There's just no room to physically fit all the golds that are attending, even though I'm sure that not all 600 golds actually attending. It's probably, I don't know,
No, it's the
three
same
quarters,
for
half. Yeah.
It's the
So
same for the captains. Marina, you get there, and you get there. If you get there on time, you're late. If you get there, you may get there early. They may start letting you in, but once you get up there, it's overpopulated.
In addition, I have noticed that over the last, I'm going to say 2 years, ever since, we've had the 50th anniversary, which, if I remember correctly, was actually a wonderful, wonderful dinner. Everything was great, except for, again, lack of space. But over the last 2 years, the catering service, so to speak. I mean, I'm not sure if it's a dedicated restaurant, particularly at the Voodoo Lounge, that does the catering, or somebody else handles those 2 nights that the STLV is there. But the service has become very iffy, to the point
Run out of
where,
food.
not so much run out of food. Where you go for the seconds, they don't let you. So kind of like, doesn't that kind of defeat the definition of buffet? So that's, that's probably one of those things where one of the perks I still do enjoy for the gold ticket. But I'm very curious to see what they're going to come up with this year with move to a different place. Certainly more people will probably going to be accommodated, and the menu looks pretty good. So let's see what's going to happen.
Yep. Yeah, there's and humans are going to be humans. So like what I hear now is, well, now we don't have the view. I'm like, well, I'd rather the table space.
I'd rather,
to be quite honest.
Like the 2 years that I went, one time I stood outside at like a high top table thing, and then another time I think I found somewhere to sit and put the plate on my lap maybe and ate that way. So yeah, it's either there's a view or you get a table and a chair. Which would you like? It's,
And going outside is not always the greatest, because one year it was actually raining. So and those people who were eating outside, I don't know how much they were enjoying themselves, but it was not the best.
I've done it. It's fun.
Let's hope that it will be a better experience this year. So I don't think any of the photo ops or auto ops are sold out. I think everything is available. In fact, I know some of the autograph numbers, people are still getting really low numbers, which is great.
Well, they've only just launched the Discovery Crew that has been announced like within the last week. So, but I'm a bit surprised actually that a couple of actors that you would think would generate that sort of, it's a potential sellout, such as Colmini or Jason Isaacs. So far, nothing. I mean, Creation is usually, good about sending out an email saying, okay, this thing we're kind of hitting the low numbers. If you want to buy it now. But I don't know. Let's see.
I think that the raised fee it raised, I think, 75 cents from $7.75 to $8.50. Which doesn't seem like a lot, but I feel like maybe people are listening to us and to just people in the groups that say, why spend that extra money per ticket when it's very likely that you're going to get it at the convention. And I think that just overall, some of the price hikes, even with the basic tickets, might be discouraging people from buying stuff beforehand? It just
I'm not
sounds
sure. I do think that there's probably more returning fans that kind of figured out that you don't actually need to, unless you really want to be upfront with your autographs, or if there's some other factor that's in play. Photo ops, it's first come, first serve. Does it really, unless it is someone special, like say Sir Patrick, he practically always sells out. And well, now we also know that he no longer does photo ops in person. Like singular photo ops. You don't need to buy it ahead of time. So I'm sure that once we actually get there will be lines by the autograph tables and by the photo op tables, and people going to be snatching just regular hard tickets at the door.
Yeah, I know for me, I'm waiting till I get there to buy anything. Like the gala ticket, which that was another update. Now we've got Michael Giacchino, Jeff Russo, and Dennis McCarthy.
That's just amazing.
Yeah, so this is after I think two or 3 years of skipping it. Gosh, I don't even know the last time I went. I think it was 3 years ago. I'm gonna buy a ticket and go to that because I can't pass up seeing. Well, see, Jeff already jumped on it.
Did. Well, when they announced Michael Giacchino, that was it for me. I'm like, okay,
that was it. That justified the $850 for
well, Jeff. I have never missed the gala just because I love the music and I gotta tell you, like, I cry every year. So if I need a good cry, I go there because the Star Trek music just gets into my bones.
Yeah, same thing. I enjoy galas, even though even when they go several years in a row of just Nevada Pops, it's still wonderful. Last year they had more of a combination where they had multiple
like Tim jazzy thing.
And I actually greatly regret missing it, and I missed it simply because by that time my con crowd was really acting up, and I just didn't want to be dead the next day completely. So I decided to skip it in favor of a more mild activity. So I do regret it because from what I heard, it was brilliant. Well, Tim Russ is an amazing musician, so but yeah, this year is going to be amazing.
Yeah, I can't, like, Michael Giacchino's one of my favorite composers, so there's no way. I was like, I can't, like, I will regret it for the rest of my life. And then they're just adding everybody else. It's like, how can you not? So that those tickets are still available. So, like, I wouldn't worry about buying tickets. Like, you're probably going to be fine. And then
I just keep an eye on the group if anything goes weird. But like even, and I think it's our excitement that we expect things to sell out. But if you step back and look at it from an overall perspective, like I can understand why the Discovery Cast stuff isn't selling out because that's not the age group necessarily that can afford to come to Star Trek Las Vegas right now. So, I know people who got spots 1 through 5 for Sneak Martin Green's photo ops. Because they all send me messages. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll get one.
And I am that. Well, that's the other thing. So as Marina mentioned, like we've got almost the entire Discovery Cast coming. They had about half of them, but none of the like big headliners. And then this week, everyone else joined. So really, I think we're just missing Michelle Yeoh. Because we've got Jason Isaacs and Anson Mount, so we've got those captains.
Doug Jones.
Doug Jones. So, like, for me, I have heard via our buddy Eric, who helps run the USS Rio group, that he spoke to Creation directly, and they are going to announce Discovery Group photo ops. I don't know that that's going to be an entire cast photo op or just things like Stamets and Culber type of deal.
I've had an unofficial confirmation of at least Stamets and Culber because a friend of mine called exactly for that. So she is anxiously awaiting by her computer, waiting for that to pop up.
It's tough. It's like this is the 1 year. Like I didn't do any photo ops last year except the one that Jeff gave me with my Jemison. So I went from like no photo ops to needing like 20 photo ops. And I don't have the budget for it this year. So what I'm doing is sharing a lot of the photo ops with friends. So you can go halvesies.
Yeah. Even sharing, I am going to be on ramen noodles and rice for a while.
Yeah.
So.
I'm trying to figure things out and find other friends to do it with me so that I can get everyone. But I'm curious to see what more will be released beforehand. But
And has it
uh,
always been 2 people per photo op? I thought it was 3 at one
Um,
point.
no, it was always 2, but then the
Okay.
change occurred about, again, a couple of years ago when uh, more often than not, you would have an occasion when a group of people would say, well, there's 4 of us. Is it all right? I mean, we'll pay twice. And so they made it acceptable that up to 4 people you can have in the photo, and then you just bring 2 tickets. So that's,
Okay.
2 people per ticket. But that's the absolute maximum that they can accommodate for 4 people per photo op.
I
Yep.
want to
Um,
say, like, if you bring your kid, though, like,
Yeah,
I
the
think the
kids
kid's
don't
free.
really count, especially if it's like really like toddlers or little
yeah,
babies.
Hmm.
yeah,
They generally don't count them.
okay,
So up to 4
Yeah,
adults.
if you can
yeah.
hold the kid, I think you're safe.
Yeah, and if you
So
can
I
get
can't.
some
I,
of the guests to hold them, it's even better.
Jesse, I can pick you up.
I can't show up in a baby hat, and that
Yeah,
won't
no,
work.
I'll give it a shot if you want to.
All right, we'll do it, Jeff. You and
Okay.
I.
I think Jesse should go full baby outfit.
Totally.
I've got my onesie
with a bottle and everything.
Oh man, I love it. Love it. Love it. So I mean that's something I'm looking forward to, but I'm trying to think if there are any other like major updates with just kind of the basic info, like basic con stuff.
Well,
Um,
I think we should mention the way creation works in terms of they do listen to us, right? Because remember, and I was looking through our group in May, they had one karaoke night. And like
Yep.
half of us blew up because it's free and that's where we all get to hang out. And so they did listen and opened up 2 karaoke nights. So and one's a Klingon karaoke for sure. I don't know if the other one is. I am just so excited though because like I love it when we get our way. And I hate sorry creation, but I do love it when we get our way. And I'm excited. I'm excited for that because that's where like most people we meet up there, and that's where we do a lot of socializing and networking is during karaoke.
I mean, that event is open to everyone. You don't have to have a convention ticket to go to karaoke.
Mhm.
So that, I mean, so many people, especially general admission, we don't have other free events besides unofficial events, which we'll talk about here in a second. But like that's all we've got. So
Yeah.
I think that's a great point, Jesse, because I try really hard to encourage people to contact creation instead of just complaining in the group. Like it's okay to vent, but Adam Malin is in our group, but he's not like active. He doesn't really comment. I don't know how much he reads in it, but they do see some of it. But I always say either go to the creation group or the official group specifically,
Yep.
or send them an email and let them know, because I think rather than one post with a thread of comments, 500 emails are
Yep.
much more impactful than just a thread in the unofficial group.
Yeah, and don't forget. Sorry, Jesse. Don't forget people that we've told this story many times on Shore Leave and other tricorder shows. The Tricorder Transmissions Network blew up because of a chance meeting at a karaoke party at STLV many years ago. So you never know what can happen if you go to a karaoke at STLV. So definitely attend.
Yep. And and Heather, on what I was saying on your footsteps is write creation, but be nice. Don't be a jerk when you write creation, because that they'll listen and nice. They'll probably delete jerks. So.
Yes, and I have, when I went in 2012 with my ex, terrible, abusive, whatever. Sorry, he complained about a lot of it, and I don't know why it didn't meet his expectations. But when we got back, he wrote a letter, and I wrote a letter. And my dynamic was, constructive criticism and making sure to point out things that I liked and give helpful advice. His letter was not that, and he got no response. And not only did I get a response, but several of my suggestions were listened to and implemented. So yes, be nice. Like the one thing that we at Tricorder and we in the unofficial group preach is to just be nice to other people, and that will get your opinion considered far more than just being critical and rude. Okay, so we asked the group just for things that they wanted us to cover, and one of those things was the unofficial events. And I am going to rely on you guys. I know, Jesse, you sent me a thing that I did not pull up. Hi, Patreon people. This is Heather pulling up the file that Jesse sent us earlier. It's in here somewhere.
It's in the Facebook chat or admin.
I know. I just can't. I have to go back far to find it.
Oh, yeah.
I have it open if you.
Okay, so
we talk a lot.
There it is. All right, I've got it open. Sorry, Jeff. Oh, I've got to open the file and do this whole. It wants me to save it. Oh boy. Okay. Sorry, I didn't realize it was going to be this much work. All right, so let's 3, 2, 1. So we've got some official and unofficial things to cover. The first is pre-registration, which we don't yet have the specific time for, but I'm going to bet that it's going to start later, late afternoon through the evening.
Yeah, I was hoping our good friend Marina, who has a great memory, better than mine, would remember when we did all this last year.
Your friend Marina has better than that. I have the last year's schedule of events actually open in front of me.
This is why we hired her to not get paid.
Is she getting paid more than me?
Yes. Yeah. So it's actually very similar. 2 years in a row, we had pretty much almost identical registration hours of operation type of thing. The gold patrons, so the gold weekend ticket holders, pre-registration started at 1:30 p.m. And even though they kind of say, well, 1:30 through 3 p.m., that's for gold patrons, realistically, 1:30 onwards until the end, gold weekend holders can come in and register at any time starting from 1:30. 3 o'clock was captain's chair, 4:30 p.m. copper, and then 7 o'clock general admission, full weekend ticket holders. If you have a single ticket, you have to register on the day of attendance. So 1 ticket, 2 tickets, 3 tickets, you register on each one of the days that you're there. Yes. Realistically speaking, you don't have to be there by that specific time because, well, pre-registration is kind of half the fun. That extends your convention experience. Stand in line, have a chat with a random person, make a friend, enjoy yourself. Also, once they actually start going, the registration lines move really quickly. So, that 1:30 through 3 p.m., the golds are probably going to be done, I don't know, I'm not going to say 30 minutes, but it's going to be very fast. So they're going to start on captains, and so by 7 p.m., actually, general admission is probably going to be done. But the actual schedule, I think it ends like 11 o'clock. Hold on, let me scroll down here.
Yeah,
like 11 o'clock, because by 11:30, the vendor's room is going to close.
Right.
That's the perk of pre-registration. You get the early access to the vendor room.
Yeah, and just remember, guys, like we've been there all these years. Like, remember way back when it was my first year where they started this like at 7 and that line went out like around the casino for people waiting to get in. So this enhanced schedule has kind of minimized that line. So you still get to meet people in line, but you don't have to stand in a smoky casino to talk to them.
Yep, which is a good thing. I know that I don't remember if it was last year or the year before, they did get backed up and like general admission was supposed to start at 7, but didn't actually, like we had to come back at 8:30 or something. I don't know if you remember that, Jeff, when that was.
Yeah, it was weird because they originally told us one time, and then we went there and they told us a different time, but I think they told us 8 originally, and when we went there, was it like 8:30 or 9?
No, it was like it was an hour more that we had to come back,
and it was very strange. And I heard about it. I think it was one of the years that I was again either still gold or back to captains. Because upper tiers were pretty much either gone or all crowded in the vendor's room. I'm actually thinking maybe that's the reason they weren't letting anybody else register, because they were afraid that the fire marshal will close down the vendor room. There were too many people already in there. But that kind of doesn't make sense. I mean, you still have rather limited number of people milling about, not as much as you would have when
Yeah.
convention is fully open with everybody there. So I don't know. It was a glitch.
I don't
Somebody said
know.
something.
I
Could
would just
be.
say keep an eye on the group. We'll try to. So, for anyone who's new that hasn't been to STLV before, is not familiar with how our group works, we do turn off the post moderation like the day before the convention. So, usually on Tuesday, so that when you post, it'll automatically post. It doesn't have to be approved by us. We still expect everyone to follow our rules that are in the pinned post. So please refresh yourself on the rules. But people can post pretty much immediately so that when this stuff happens or there's someone cancels or stuff like that, that information is available immediately. So just keep an eye on the group for that stuff to come up. But
And if you see it already in the group, please don't post it again.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
And I have a question for you guys. So, do you think? So, I'll tell you my experience. I go get my ticket, but I don't go into the vendor's room because I kind of like to wait. And honestly, there's so much going on outside the convention that I like run, get my ticket, run back, and then go do like the couple of things that we have planned. So, do you guys go into the vendor's room that first night,
yeah.
or what's your? Yeah.
Oh yes.
Definitely.
And now, since I usually get the pre early one with my gold, it's so very much worth it. There's no crowds. You just basically nice strolling about, saying hi to familiar faces, and you can go and visit and check out and actually start shopping. Actually, over the last I'd say still 2-3 years. Yeah, so 15, 16, 17. So yeah, 3 years. I think actually I did all the bulk of the shopping on the night of pre-registration, and then whatever else is just like little things that I suddenly find on the second, third, 20th round through the vendor's room. Actually, a couple of times, a few things that I really caught my attention. I'm like, well, maybe I should get it, maybe I shouldn't get it. It's not exactly in the budget, and then the next day I come and it's already gone. So things actually start selling out the night before the convention actually starts, believe it or not.
Okay.
And if you heard our fan sets episode that just came out, it's going to benefit you to get there early because they've got some really cool exclusives that I am sure are going to sell pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I know that Jeff and I usually make our rounds so that we go see all of the vendors that we had on the show and say hi to them. So yeah, I like to go just to do that, and then I run back to the bar area, and we've got quite a few things going on the Tuesday night before the convention. So Jesse, since you are the organizer for the Newbies and Solo Travelers meetup, do you want to, I guess you can talk about that and then talk about the special group of people that we will be meeting this year.
So yeah, so I don't know when it was, like my second or third year that I came to Star Trek Las Vegas. I just set up an event in the group. I remember asking Heather if she minded, and I just wanted to like have a place for people who were coming and who were new to STLV and people who were traveling alone, where they could kind of meet up and start building a kind of rapport, because it is very intimidating. And take it from me, who went my first year not only as a solo but alone, and it was a good experience, but it could have been better if I would have had some grounding before the convention started. So I set that up, and the first year I remember that like 15 people said they would show up, and like we had like 50, 60 people show up, and I was just amazed that was so supportive. People were so supportive of it. And the other thing we had was people like us who were alumni of the STLV that came to meet the new people and the people who were traveling alone, so they could start helping them out and be friendly and kind of give them a soft intro. So over the past couple years, we've done that. The attendance keeps increasing, and it's kind of turned into an event now every year where alumni will come and hang out with people who are coming to STLV for the first time or traveling alone, where they may just want, someone to sit with or to talk to about Star Trek. And they know that this is going to be a safe space to start the convention. So it's been fantastic. And that is going to be Tuesday night. and it'll start at 8 o'clock. Just come on down, guys, because it's really a lot of fun, and we'll just keep going until the bar closes, which is never. So,
Well, it's at iBar. So iBar is right by registration. Like when you first walk in to the Rio, registration is off to your left, and iBar is right in front of you. Jesse, are you going to have anything so that people can know where you are? Are you just going to say, "It's me, Jesse," and wave your arms?
I am hard to miss, but it is going. Honestly, guys, if you go to the R Bar, you won't miss the group of Star Trek fans. And I've had name tags before. I've had badges before. I'll have something. I'm just not sure what it is quite yet.
I think you need a big Dr. Seuss hat.
Maybe we can make you some badge templates you can use.
Oh, there's an idea. So, yeah. So, along with that, I'm sorry, go ahead, Heather.
Nope, I was just going to say that so along with coming to the newbies party, we have a special group of ambassadors this year that includes both you and Marina.
Absolutely. So this year, I started this kind of newbies thing, and then I unofficially, I think last year or during the STLV 101 series, I said, well, I'm the unofficial ambassador, which you all would know it's true, right? So like people will seek me out because I'm loud and boisterous, and we just, I kind of help them. And at the newbies, it's become a tradition for me to welcome them at iBar and then send them off to the masquerade. Like that's graduation. This year we had a couple of members who thought, we could expand on that. And so first I want to say this is not Creation sponsored, this ambassador thing, and it's just something we do out of love. None of us are getting anything out of it. We just want to be there and support our folks. So what we have is a group of handful of ambassadors. We're calling them STLV ambassadors, and they will be recognizable by a special badge that Jeff has so graciously created for us. We will be announcing who those people are. Again, it's Marina and I for sure. Jeff and Heather, we decided need a break because they have too much to do. So while you are more than welcome to go say hi to Jeff and Heather, they are not your ambassadors. And I kid Jeff and Heather, but you guys are awesome, and you need a little vacation time at STLV, I believe, because last year was a little nutso. So
yeah, it was.
Gonna try.
So I'll quickly tell you what the ambassador. So we did come up with a unofficial kind of statement of what we want to do, and it's the STLV ambassador represents the overall STLV community. The goal is to have a core team of STLV alumni that newbies and longtime attendees of STLV alike can seek out for questions, a quick chat, support, and guidance. The overall STLV community saw a need to provide a support system for attendees who are either not familiar or not comfortable seeking out assistance in a public forum. When available, members of the team will be easily identifiable via the ambassador's thread in the unofficial Star Trek Las Vegas Convention Facebook group. And we will absolutely put that thread out there right before the convention. The ambassadors will keep an eye on it and bump it as needed. But again, that's where you'll find out who it is, what we do, and for all of our other members in the group, this is a pilot program, so we didn't make an official announcement to everyone. I remember Heather, Jeff, and I, this came up, one of the members messaged us, and within like 2 hours, we had like a core group. So it happened really fast, really quick, and I just put this thing together. And I think it's going to be fantastic. I don't know what you guys think. I know Marina's excited. She told me.
I said before, I can talk about the convention in my sleep. So yeah. Ask me questions.
And I'm really proud of everyone that stepped up to do this. And I'm just gonna give Yesenia credit here, since she's the one that brought the idea to us. But
Let's give her credit Yesenia. Yay!
I want to very strongly emphasize that this idea was created out of love, and specifically because we get a lot of comments throughout the year with people attending who are like, "Oh my gosh, this is very overwhelming," and I'm alone, or I only have a few friends. I don't know anybody. Maybe they've been before and they didn't quite find someone to gel with, and so we really just wanted to find a way to help integrate everyone into the experience, to give you someone that you can go up and talk to, that is a safe person that's going to help you out, um, and introduce you to other people, and hopefully set your mind at ease that you have support and you have friends there. We're going to make a post that does have guidelines, because again, these are all volunteers that are helping out. And while in a way they're a con buddy, they're not meant to be someone that guides you around the convention or anything like that. They're basically going to be people that are available at certain times to help out STLV attendees with kind of like basic questions, or if they're feeling overwhelmed and need some support, stuff like that.
Yeah. And I think it's important to mention part of the guidelines is we will have an ambassadors thread. We are going to ask folks not to direct message anyone who's identified as an ambassador. Use the thread because it's a team and they know when they're going to be available and when they're not. If you message someone and they don't answer, then you're going to be stuck or you're not going to get your answer, or you're not going to get the help. So use the thread. And caveat here, none of us, the ambassadors, are licensed professional helpers, right? So like, we're just fans like you. So we really, like, honestly, everyone, I just want to stress it, we really just want to be there to help, and you can use it or not use it. And we're going to have fun either way, but we'd love to make your experience happier, and just, but we also want to have a great experience. So when we post the guidelines, they're out of love as well, and out of self-care for ourselves and care for our ambassadors and everyone at the convention.
Woohoo! I'm excited. So thank you. We'll have more information on that posted in the group before the convention. So we kind of talked about the parties. We talked about karaoke. We've got the landing party. We talked about the gala, Night of Diversity, Rat Pack.
So why don't we?
We should probably give a little bit more detail on the landing party, because that's a fixture. That's the 9th one.
Yeah.
Alrighty, that sounds good.
And for Patreon members, I'm sorry, we're just honest here.
No worries. Okay, so let me open that file back up. Blah blah blah. Okay, so 3, 2, 1. So the other event that's happening on Tuesday night, I think that Jesse already mentioned, is the landing party, which is hosted by Roddenberry Podcast Network and Larry Nemechek's Trekland Portal 47, with co-sponsors TrekRadio.net, Bye Bye Robot, who sadly won't be at the convention this year, TrekMovie.com, and Geek Nation Tours, which also I don't think will be there, but they will be back next year. So this is an event with trivia and prizes and lots of fun. It's going to be at the Masquerade Bar this year. So our plan is to have the newbies event over at iBar at 8 o'clock. And then that way, by the time the clock strikes 9, you can make it over to the landing party. Marina, did you have any more information? I know you're a member of Portal 47.
As am I.
As far as landing party, not so much. It usually follows the same format. Basically a whole lot of people getting together. If it's at the bar, there's a lot of drinking involved. All great fun. But yes, usually Larry Nemechek and John Champion, they host a wonderful trivia game. If you don't have that many people showing up, as did happen one year when there weren't enough people so you could actually play for yourself, but usually there's a whole lot of people by that time finished with their pre-registration, so you can form teams, and it's just straight trivia with wonderful questions and amazing gifts.
They are amazing gifts.
From Think Geek and all sorts of great Trek goodies. So I assume it's going to be the same thing, and we now know that it's going to be in Masquerade Bar instead of a private suite like it was in a couple of previous years.
It's gotten big, hasn't it, Marina?
I highly recommend it. It's fun, even though can be overwhelming in terms of, yes, lots of people that seem to know each other. So if you are a newbie, but hang around, look at it, take a part in the trivia game. It's great fun. And Landing Party is now a fixture. This is going to be the ninth one in a row that we're having.
It is fantastic, and I will tell you guys, like, you should at least check it out. If you don't participate, at least watch, because it's a lot of fun. I think that, I haven't missed it yet. This is the first year I think we've kind of had a like on top of each other kind of thing. But I will be at the newbies party until all the newbies are gone. So if you're late to that, come on over. I will still send you over there. And as I said, I'm a part of Portal 47. So, I'll go talk to Larry later if I have to.
And it's basically, you don't have to actually stick to one party and then leave for the other one. You can shuttle back and forth between the bars and enjoy both of them.
They are within walking distance. So
exactly.
Yeah. And the most important part, the masquerade we know is open.
Yes, we have confirmation this year. Our buddy Ron Snowden is there, and I think our friend David's been there. So it's a go. Masquerade will be there. iBar will be there. We're all good. We talked about Klingon karaoke, and we're still going to have another karaoke, which I don't know. It was supposed to be with Connor and Dominic, but I don't know what the status of that one is yet. But so the other thing really quickly that's not on here, Wednesday night is our Tricorder Transmissions 5th birthday bash.
Oh, yes.
That will be, the event is on Facebook. Go to Tricorder Transmissions page on Facebook to find it. It's going to be in a private suite, so we won't know the location until we check in that day, but we will post that information once we do know. It is open to everyone. It starts at 8 o'clock. There will be all kinds of fun stuff, including Couch Trek, which is sitting on the couch and pretending like you're on the bridge of the Enterprise. Mm-hmm. That is Buried Ford's creation. If you listen to Politics, you can find out all about how that Couch Trek was born. We're going to have some giveaway stuff, I think. It's really just an opportunity to celebrate our network and all of our listeners and all of our friends. We just wanted a nice, intimate get-together with everyone.
Who brought the cookies last year?
That's, I think, John Krikorian brought cupcakes.
Whoever brought some, John Krikorian. I just remember.
Yep.
I remember it was good food. So, John, if you're listening, you better come with food.
Amazing cupcakes. Amazing.
John is doing a lot of work, being that he's a Vegas local, so he's going to help us out with picking up some stuff for the party. I believe we're going to have a cake. We're going to have like snacks and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Some alcohol, but please bring stuff if you got it, because we're that's a good thing. We're small. We can't afford to feed the whole Rio or anything like that. So if you'd like to bring something, feel free. But we hope to see everybody there. We're going to do group photo. We've got a whiskey tasting party with whiskeys from all over the world, I guess. So, yeah, I'm going to try not to get drunk. That was my thing this year, is I'm not going to get drunk because I'm 37, and a hangover when you're 37 is the worst.
Try a hangover when you're 44.
Yeah. But it's STLV. I find that every year, after the night of pre-registration, so between the two parties, or occasionally even three parties that I would shuttle to and fro from, next morning I wake up and I sound like Kathleen Turner. And, even though it's kind of horrible and I can't look myself in the mirror, like, it happens once a year. I kind of look forward to it.
Well, I wake up still drunk because I don't really drink a lot at home. I don't drink ever to the point of being drunk at home, really. So I do. Lots of water, everybody. Drink your water. Okay, so I'm going to fast forward. So at 8 o'clock on Saturday night is our Night of Diversity party presented by all of us here at the Tricorder Transmissions Podcast Network. This is our inaugural party. Apparently, we're going to have more if you guys show up, which we hope you will, because this is basically a celebration of diversity around the board. This event is at the Rio. It's at the party room at the Kiss Mini Golf. So really curious to see, like, do we get to go party and play mini golf? Because that would be pretty cool. It's a free event. So you don't have to do anything except to walk over, walk in. We have a ton of raffle prizes. If you go onto our page on Facebook, just type in Night of Diversity. It should pop right up, and go to discussion. We've got a signed TOS tunic, Captain Kirk's tunic, signed by William Shatner. We've got some art from our buddy Laz Marquez, which we talked about in our vendor episode with him. There's so many raffle prizes. I can't even. And all of the proceeds from those raffles go to 2 different organizations. One is the Crib. They focus on homeless shelters, but they help out a lot of LGBTQ kids because of that. Because for those who don't know, a lot of LGBTQ people wind up homeless when they come out to their family. And then the other one is the center in Las Vegas. So one's out of Chicago, one is in Las Vegas. Both of these organizations are LGBTQ supporters. And so all of the proceeds will go to both of those charities to help our LGBTQ youth. We won't have drinks inside the venue, but if you just walk out to the Village Bar, they will have some drink specials. So I'm super excited. I've already got my rainbow shiny dress picked out. So I don't know. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope everyone will join us. Have I left anything out, Jeff?
Don't think so. I think you hit all the points.
So one last thing that we recommend everyone do is on Sunday night. It's usually like at 9:30. Marina,
Yep.
Do you have it? Is the Star Trek Rat Pack. It is hopefully. Did they add Armin to it? Do we know if they added Armin since we have Armin?
Let me check.
I didn't see, but if he's there, he usually is part of it. Is what I remember.
I believe so. I think he's actually doing most of his events. So the panel, the photo op, and the autograph is on Sunday. So I would assume that he'd be part of it.
And and just to, guys, we kind of have to give them a heads up, because we do know that there's a group that comes right after us. You go into the Rat Pack, and it's STLV. You come out, and it's some accountants. So it's depressing at the end.
Oh man, just put on your blinders. Don't look in either direction. Just walk straight to the bar.
Yeah, they start taking the con down pretty quickly.
Yeah, in
So
fact,
terribly depressing.
My Trekkie bestie and roommate Claire has now started leaving on Sunday afternoon so that she avoids.
It's actually
Not
one
a
of the
bad
reasons
plan.
I now fly out really, really early on Monday morning. That way, at least I'm back to what feels like rather drab New Jersey, and I can at least, sleep for a day and kind of come to my senses before I go back to work.
I get to come home to my parents in my 2-bedroom apartment. They're being kind enough to watch my dogs.
Aw.
Yeah, which is
Puppers.
super helpful that my babies will have grandma and grandpa here.
Yeah.
But it means I don't get to sleep in my bed for 2 weeks.
To swing back to the Rat Pack, I
Yes.
just confirmed. So the description still has the original 4 that were but again, I'm seeing Armin's autograph, Armin's photo op, everything's on Sunday. So I wouldn't be surprised if, I don't know, maybe they'll change the description. Maybe he will be a sort of surprise, in quotation marks, addition to the show. But I can't kind of imagine the Rat Pack without Armin, to be honest. I mean, I've seen it without him where other actors, other guests, were substituted, like Ethan Phillips has done spots before. But in this case, I mean, if Armin is there, you better have the original Rat Pack, so to speak.
Well, it's a lot of fun, and I think last year I did not go, but Mary Chifo from Discovery apparently surprised everybody and popped in. Jeff and I
she
were
stuck around for the entire convention. She was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Well, this is why it's hard to say like skip it to a lot of things because you never know who's going to drop in to a panel or an event. It's I always hear stories and then I'm like, oh shoot, I didn't go and I missed out. But such is life.
Yeah.
So I would say if it sounds like something cool that you want to do, don't hesitate. That's my advice for everyone this year. If you can,
Absolutely.
you've got the time, you've got the money, and your intuition is pointing you in that direction, listen to it and go do the things that you really want to do just in case you don't get to do them again next year.
And
Absolutely.
for you alumni, if you if you think you're not going because you've seen it all before, let's just remember that the past couple of years we've had new things show up, so that's not true anymore.
Mhm.
So go because something might be different, like Mary Chiefo showing up at the last concert of the convention.
Totally.
Yeah.
Oh, there is one quick thing that I wanted to mention that like nobody is talking about, and I don't get it. So along with the Discovery news, like all the cast coming, we're getting the exhibit again. Within the Discovery exhibit, we are getting Mira Giorgio's throne.
I did not know that.
Yes,
Wow.
that's your photo op. Instead of the Discovery captain's chair, it's going to be Emperor Giorgio's throne.
Wow.
That is
So that,
exciting.
yeah, like a totally new photo op. That throne is really, really awesome. I didn't drop the F bomb, thank goodness. How can you not? Like, it's just so super cool. So I'm really excited about that. There's also going to be an agonizer booth, is one of the new props from Creation.
I heard that. Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
that's
And
gonna
the
be
exhibition
fun.
is gonna have a lot of the mirror stuff from what I heard, and I really, really hope they're gonna bring that amazing sword.
Oh
Ooh,
yes.
well, yes, I need that sword. Being yes. So okay, we're running short on time. I think we've covered most of the events. I'm trying to think of like really pertinent last minute advice, tips, tricks, anything
Well,
like that.
I guess at this point, I mean, we're so close. Just if you're in the group, keep your eye on it, because whatever's gonna pop up is gonna show up exactly there. That's your best place to not lose it, not miss it. Somebody's gonna notice it and post it. So, yeah.
Okay, Jesse, what about you?
That's all for me. I think I have talked enough, probably more. You guys don't know. I know I'm talking over people and going crazy, but that's because I'm completely just pumped myself before this thing started, and now even more so. So thanks for having me on, guys, again.
Oh yeah, no problem. Jeff, any last minute advice? Is Santa Gorn going to be there this year?
Yes, if you go to santagorn.com, you'll get a little more information and follow the Santa Gorn. On Twitter, I'll be shouting out my appearances as they're going to happen. One quick thing I wanted to mention, I know this has been something that people have asked a lot of questions about in the past, and we've talked about this on our one-on-one episodes, but I think it bears mentioning again. If you happen to run into any of the Trek celebs in the elevators in the hallway, it happens all the time at STLV because it's a long slog from the rooms all the way down to the convention. Treat them like people. Talk to them like people. I know it's a natural obsession to gush over people, but I think they appreciate just being talked to like normal human beings. There's going to be a lot of Discovery cast there this year. I know we're all just excited that they're going to be there and that we want to see them. But just take a minute to just talk to them like a normal person and try to be as calm as you can if you happen to run into them outside of the actual convention space. I think they'll really, really appreciate that.
Yep. But if you fangirl like I did in front of George Takei, they get it.
They do.
They get it. They get, of course
They do. I came off the elevator and walked right into, well, not right into, but there's Neville Page, and I'm friends with Neville Page on Twitter. Like we interact, and so I lost it so much that I looked at him and said, "Glenn." Like, anybody who watches Face Off knows Glenn Hedrick too, which is also working
Well.
Thankfully, Neville had his earpods in, so I don't think he heard me because he
You got lucky.
he was like, "Oh, hi," and it's really funny because in 2014, I don't know what was up with me that year, but I was like the selfie queen. I had all this crazy confidence, and I was going up to pretty much anytime I ran into one of the celebrity guests, I would be like, "Oh my God, hi, can we selfie?" And all of them took a selfie with me. So I will, like, everyone was really great. But now I don't know what my deal is. I've become a little bit more shy about it. So like I was just like, "Oh, hey, Neville, what's up? Are you having a good time? What's going on? We really love Discovery." Like, I did fangirl, and he was totally receptive and sweet and adorable. And I'm sad that I didn't ask to take a selfie with him. Um, you know, I think, like Jeff said, just there are people like us on the heels of that. If they are busy, if they are obviously headed in a direction and not engaging you, please let them go on their way.
Yeah, just common sense. I mean,
Yeah.
certain things are off, what's the expression? I mean, if they're eating or obviously heading towards the bathroom. So something simple, because these are real people. Yeah,
and
just
that goes
respect.
for any other convention attendee. We did an episode right before the convention last year that talked about STLV etiquette, which I encourage everyone to go back and listen to, because this kind of stuff is really important. We've talked tonight about the ambassador program and wanting to make everyone comfortable. And, it's just when you interact with other people, it's important to consider that while we're all there and generally friendly, like we all have stuff going on. So if you get just a drive-by hi, like that may be all that someone has time for at the moment, or it's just be reasonable.
And respectful
and objective. Like, I find that when you can be objective about things and just say, "Oh, I didn't get to say hi to that person, she's really busy," just kind of recognize that everyone's got a lot going on, and all of you and those who have been to STLV know, and those who are going for the first time will find out it can be super overwhelming for everybody for various reasons. So just remember to be kind to everyone. And a quick thing for me personally that I just want to put out to the group is that, both Jeff and I'll talk for Jeff for a minute here. Both Jeff and I love to meet our listeners.
We do.
And we love, all of us here, love to meet our group members. So if you see us and we are not engaged in a deep conversation, like we look approachable, feel free to come up and say hi. That's not an issue. But I just want to say that for me personally, I've had quite a lot of harassment issues this year for various reasons, usually removing people from the group. And I no longer feel 100% safe walking around the convention by myself. So I will probably have someone in tow. And a lot of people in the past have said, "Oh, well, you had someone with you, so I didn't feel like I could come up and say hi." And I totally get that. Like, it can be intimidating to walk up to someone when they're with someone else or when you're in a group, but please don't let that discourage you. Just because I have someone walking with me doesn't mean I'm not approachable. I'm just doing that for my own personal safety and well-being. And I think that goes for a lot of people. A lot of people at STLV have friends that they walk with, but most people are very approachable. Just use common sense. Try not to intrude when it looks like someone's having a personal conversation or someone looks upset, stuff like that.
Yep. I agree with you 100%, Heather. I mean, you've got to learn how to read people. I on the other hand, am always with someone, so you will never get me on my own, and I do that because STLV is my family and where I get to see them once a year. So I don't even sleep, and people here on this podcast can attest to the fact that I'm pretty much up 24/7. But I do shower at least once a day.
Thank you for that. Thank you. Yes, everyone shower, eat at least one meal a day, drink more water than you think you need to. I recommend sleep because if you don't sleep, you might be cranky. Jesse's just super awesome and is like always happy-go-lucky. So I think that's pretty much everything that I can think of.
Yep. I would add one last thing before we wrap up is use your resources. So obviously you're not going to get all the up to the date news on the podcast because we are recording today, right? So go to Creation's website, go to the group, go to the event section, and just keep an eye on the group because things change really fast closer to the convention and you don't want to miss out.
Yeah.
Yes. There's also the Cosmunity app this year, which I did download and have sort of kind of checked out, and it looks like it may be halfway decent. There is also a Slack group. So it's just an app called Slack, SLACK, and it's called Star Trek Las Vegas. There's a group there that a lot of people are conversing in. So you have multiple ways to stay on top of all of the news. As long as you're hanging out in the main auditorium, they're pretty good with announcements. Things are delayed, canceled, moved around. They'll communicate that kind of stuff, but a lot of times you do need to find out via social media. If you're on Twitter, make sure to use the tag STLV. I will try to post. My problem is that I get there and then I really don't play on my phone a lot because I'm talking to all of you. So that's one of the reasons why we turn off moderation in the group is because we're busy paying attention to each other a lot of the time. But like I said, we're approachable. Feel free to come up and say hi. We would love to meet everyone that we haven't met yet. We'd love to see you again if we've only gotten to talk once or twice before. We hope to see you at all these events, especially the Solo Travelers and Newbies event, the Tricorder Transmission's 5th birthday party, and our Night of Diversity. So I hope everyone is pumped up. I feel like I need to be really excited and like level 12 energy, and I'm just not there because it's late. But trust me, in my heart, I'm there. Like, I'm so excited to see everyone. This year has been incredibly challenging for me, but on the other hand, the power of the Star Trek community is something that cannot be underestimated. It is an amazing, wonderful, supportive community, and I am so excited to see everyone that helped get me through this year. So I guess do we want to tell people how to find us online?
Yeah, for sure.
Just don't DM us. No. So yes. So Marina, where can people find you on social media?
Facebook primarily. So even though my account is obviously locked up, you can only see information I post with friends. But you can certainly message me. I do try to check the message requests every once in a while because occasionally people who I don't know, come across, I post something and they recognize it in the groups. They do come back and ask questions or something. So very much so, just my name. You can find me on Facebook. Also Twitter, even though I am not there as frequently as I am on Facebook, I do keep the account active. My handle is Dracorex, DRAKKOREX, or you can search me by my name. And same thing, that one is not locked up, so you can freely message me or DM me. I'm not quite sure if it works if we're not following each other on Twitter. But there it is. Instagram, even though I'm there, I'm not really doing much. So best way to reach me is either Facebook or Twitter.
Awesome. Jesse, how about you?
I am on Twitter with Trekker_Jesse is my name there, and I'm on Facebook, and you can find me if you look through the members in the unofficial Star Trek Las Vegas convention group. And I'm on other stuff, but I don't really know how to use them all, so just use those two.
Sanagorn, where can we find you?
Hi, you can find me on Twitter at WarpFactorJeff, and you can also find me in the unofficial Star Trek Las Vegas convention group on Facebook, along with all of the people you hear on the show right now.
And then Sanagorn was at the Sanagorn?
It is, yeah. Unfortunately, someone has the at Sanagorn Twitter handle, but they don't use it. I think they tweeted like twice, 2 or 3 years ago, and never used it again, so I couldn't get it. So I'm the Sanagorn.
Well, but you are the Sanagorn.
Sanagorn,
I am.
yes.
So I think that's acceptable. You can find me on Twitter. I am at LLA Posper, which is LLAPAWSPER. I, along with everyone here, I'm in the unofficial Star Trek Las Vegas convention group. And we are, let's see, at Shore Leave on Twitter, at Tricorder Show on Twitter, the tricordertransmissions.com. You can find everything there. You can also find, if you link that on your phone, we have like a little STLV 101 like button thing you can add, and that's got a bunch of links. It links to all the STLV 101 episodes, and then some other helpful episodes like STLV on a budget, and some links just to help you get around STLV. I think that is pretty much it. I cannot believe we are 2 weeks away from this convention. I am so excited. If you see me, I might cry. I'm going to warn everybody right now. Like I said, it's been an emotional year. I'm really happy to see everybody. I love you guys. So I'm probably going to cry on you, and I apologize in advance. Find us in the group. Ask us if you've got any last minute questions. We'll do our best to get those answered. In the meantime, we're going to keep counting down, and we will see you soon. So live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper.
Keep tracking, everyone.
We pumped you up.